Introduction to Division, Division with Remainders, Mr. Kuhn's Math Class. What will you be learning today? Today you'll be learning 4.ntb.6, which is find whole numbers, quotients, and remainders with up to 4-digit dividends and 1-digit divisors, using strategies based on place value, the properties of operations, and the relationships between multiplication and division. Illustrate and explain the calculation by using equations, rectangular arrays, and or area models. What should you be able to do? Solve a division problem like 69 divided by 6 followed by the standard procedure. What would you do? Step 1, divide the tens. So here's the 10 right here. So 6 tens divided by 6 is 110. 1 times 6 is 6. Then you do step 2, multiply, subtract. 6 minus 6 is 0. Bring down your 9, step 3. Once you've had the 9 brought down, you think, how many times does 6 go into 9? 1 time. 1 times 6 is 6. And you have 3 left over. And that gives you that remainder right here of 3 left over. So 69 divided by 6 is 11 with the remainder 3. Alright, moving on. Problem of the day, 45. Does 35 divided by 2 have a remainder? Yes or no? Think for a second. And yes, it does have a remainder. You might ask why. Why does it have a remainder? Why would you think that? Well, 35 is odd. And 2, which you're dividing by, is even. So we know that an even number going to an odd number will definitely have a remainder. Now that you know that the problem 35 divided by 2 will have a remainder, let's go ahead and solve. Now how would you solve the problem? Alright, so you're going to rewrite the problem. 35 divided by 2. Your first step is, how many times does 2 go into 3? 1 time. So 1 times 2 is 2. Then you're going to do your subtraction. 3 minus 2 is 1. Bring down your 5. Gives you 15. Now your next thought is, how many times does 2 go into 15? 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. Subtract, you have 1 left, and that becomes your remainder. You bring that up to the top. Put an R for remainder. And there's, alright, our next problem is going to be 25 divided by 2. So what you want to do is you're going to start off thinking, how many times does 2 go into 2? Well, we know that 1 times 2 is 2. We write our 2 right there, and we subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. There's nothing there, so now bring down your 5, and we're now going to start looking at 5 divided by 2. So in your thought process, you're thinking, how many times does 2 go into 5? And we know that 2 times 2 is 5. So let's see. 2 times 2 gives us 4. And we do our subtraction. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring up your 1. That's our remainder. And so our answer is 12 with a remainder of 1. Now we're going to practice more of that in class today, but you have the basics down. So let's take a look. For lesson 6 tomorrow is going to be interpret remainders. And what should we do when there is a remainder? We can interpret that in many different ways. Alright, so example 1 for tomorrow, Math in My World. Mandy wants to buy 4 books that each cost the same amount. If the total cost of $74, how much does each book cost? So you have to think, we have 74 divided by 4. Alright, so we're looking for information. As always with story problems, we want to circle that we know there's 4 books. We know that the cost is $74. Alright, so we know that we are taking, and we're dividing 74 divided by 4. So let's go ahead and look at our help, and we're going to start off. Let me change this to a pen. So our 74 divided by 4. Our first step is to look at the tens. So, how many 4s are there in 7? Well, I know that 4 times 1 is 4. I know that 4 times 2 is 8. Well, 8 is too many. 4 is just about right. So 1 times 4 is 4. And then we do our subtraction. 7 minus 4 is 3. We're done with the tens. We can bring down our 4. And now we're trying to think, how many 4s are there in 32? Again, we're going to use our multiplication table to help us. But we want to kind of work a little smarter. An easy one, 4 times 5 is 20. Now, it's definitely not enough. Another one we already know is 4 times 10 gets us 40. It's a little too many, but we can work backwards because 34 is pretty close to 40. So if we take away 4, we have 36, and another 4 is 32. So that would be 8 right here. Same 4. So 4 times 8 is 32, which is close. 36 is too much. So we go ahead and use our 8 up here. 8 times 4 is 32. We do our subtraction. 3 minus 3 is nothing. 4 minus 2 is 2. So what's our remainder? Goes right here. There's our 2. And so the cost of the books. This is the remainder shown that each book will cost a little more than $18. And you have a little bit left over, but so each book's going to cost $18 and you're going to have a remainder of $2. And so you've now completed that problem.